Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Brandon's Progressive Podcast. Well, podcast. Episode, I forget the number. Who cares? Nobody cares about me. No, I'm just playing victim like Hillary. I still got the YouTube strike, so I'm having to host on my best friend's account, Bill Mack. So if you're watching this on Bill Mack, please subscribe to him. Very good guy. He's a dear friend to me. Very good person. Anyway, we're going to jump right into the news because there's so much going on, and I got to go to work in the morning. We both do, so we're going to jump right into this and give our reactions. We got Donald Trump meets with Obama. We got the Paul Ryan, and then we got our reaction to the Hillary Clinton concession speech. I know you guys probably seen it already, but why watch it alone when we can watch it together and get my reaction to it? But thanks for being here, sincerely, because I do appreciate it. You guys keep me going because a lot of times I just want to give up on YouTube, get tired of it, and I feel like if nobody wants to watch me, I feel like I suck. I've been called a bigot. I've been called a cracker. I've been called names on here. And I think about just giving it up. And then I'll get a comment out the blue and say, hey, love the channel. I love the channel. Keep up the great work. And that's what keeps me going sometimes. So thank you for that. Anyway, so how you doing, Bill?
Doing great, dude. Thanks for glad to be able to help you out, host it and whatnot. Host your channel and your shows to get everything back. We're glad to be a guest on your show, dude. Really is.
Okay. Yeah, Bill. Sorry, the feedback's a little scratchy a little bit there, but I appreciate that. Let's jump right into it. Trump meets Obama at the White House for the first time. This was awkward. It was like Buford T. Justice talking to Sheriff Bradford or something. And I'm just saying, why didn't Obama say Obama? Why didn't Obama say, what about that birther movement? You know what I'm saying? I know they got to work together. I know it's been funny if Obama was like, yeah, what about that birther movement? You want to have that birth certificate on the pole match? It just would have been funny. But no, Pete, they can't do that now.
This is an ABC News special report.
Special report. Oh, shit.
George Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, I like George.
Good afternoon. We're coming on the air right now because President Obama has just met with President-elect Donald Trump in the Oval Office. We saw Donald Trump fly down from New York earlier today. We have, as promising, to try to bring the country together. We heard that, of course, in his acceptance speech on Wednesday morning. President Obama, when he spoke yesterday, says we all have to be rooting for Donald Trump's success. But of course, in the wake of that, protests overnight in several American cities, thousands of protesters out in the streets, hundreds were arrested, protesting Donald Trump, including right here at the Trump Tower in Manhattan. The president and President-elect Trump met for about an hour in the Oval Office. Pool was brought in at the end. And Melania Trump, in her first visit to the White House, expected to have tea with the First Lady, also accompanied by their son-in-law, by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who's played a key role in this campaign, a key advisor to the president. Let's listen into what we heard.
This is very, very awkward to watch, ladies and gentlemen, because you got two fundamentally different people in a lot of ways. Now, I apologize for the audio here because you got fucking the paparazzi, the paparazzi. You got the media here taking 1,000 fucking pictures, so you're going to hear a lot of Snapchat, because they want to get every motion of the person.
Ugh. There's one thing on that, dude, before you get started. One thing to point out. Watch neither one maintains eye contact with the other. Just watch eye contact.
I've noticed,
yeah, because when they're usually talking, like you and I talk, we look at each other. Even if we're not staring at each other in the eyes, we basically maintain contact with all. I don't even think one time maintain eye contact over a second.
They didn't. That's the only thing that lays true about this, that there actually is a little bit of drama there. I remember at the end of this interview, Obama looked at Trump, and Trump just kind of looked away, then looked at him and nodded his head. You'll see here. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's why I said it was awkward. But it wasn't bad for a first meeting, though. I mean, these guys, Trump has been campaigning, talking about, Obama this, Obama that, birther movement a while back, which we're past the birther movement, but Hillary Clinton is nothing but Obama, and Obama is a disaster. He's a disaster as president. Worst president ever. You know, he was just saying that shit the other day. Yeah, and now they're sitting there, man. It's crazy.
Exactly.
It's like getting in a fight with somebody, and then you got to go to the fucking principal's office and sit together.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the fucking camera noise in the background.
Trump,
It does clear up eventually.
we talked about some of the organizational issues in setting up the White House. We talked about foreign policy. We talked about domestic policy. And as I said last night, my number one priority in the coming 2 months is to try to facilitate a transition and ensure our president-elect is successful. And I have been very encouraged by the, I think, interest in President-elect Trump's wanting to work with my team around many of the issues that this great country faces. And I believe that it is important for all of us, regardless of party and regardless of political preferences, to now come together, work together to deal with the many challenges that we face. And in the meantime, Michelle has had a chance to brief the incoming First Lady, and we had a conversation with her as well. And we want to make sure that they feel welcome as they prepare to make this transition.
I could see Melania Trump and Michelle Obama getting along just fine because they weren't really campaigning against they really had nothing negative to say against each other. But Michelle Obama, she went to Harvard. I believe she went to Harvard herself. I know she's got a PhD law degree, and Melania is just naughty, but I think they'll get along just fine. That transition be okay because you say, you know what, our husband's crazy man, so passionate, so passionate. And Michelle Obama be like, well, yeah, at least Trump got you over here before he built that fence, huh? Not wall, but fence,
Most of all, I want to emphasize to you, Mr. President-elect,
There they go.
that we now are going to want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed,
See how he looked away when he's like, I'm going to help you succeed. He looked away.
Exactly. He'll do that.
Trump's a client. Trump reminds me of a client.
then the country succeeds. Please.
Well, thank you very much, President Obama. This was a meeting that was going to last for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and we were just going to get to know each other. We had never met each other. I had great respect. The meeting lasted for almost an hour and a half, and it could have, as far as I'm concerned, it could have gone on for a lot longer. We really, we discussed a lot of different situations, some wonderful and some difficulties. I very much look forward to dealing with the president in the future, including counsel. He explained some of the difficulties, some of the high-flying assets, and some of the really great things that have been achieved. So, Mr. President, it was a great honor being with you, and I look forward to being with you many, many more times in the future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. We are not going to be taking any questions. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This is a good rule. Don't ask your questions when they're just starting. It's always the last one. Come on, guys.
Except for the last one. That's a good transition. Obama be like, hey, you call me a Muslim.
Yeah, come on, guys. Let's go. Very, very good man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Very good man. Too bad he wasn't born here, right? No, I'm just joking. Told you, man. That's Sheriff Bradford and Buford T. Justice right there. For 700 miles.
President Obama making it clear right there wasn't going to take any questions after that meeting with Donald Trump, his first meeting ever with Donald Trump. Apparently a cordial meeting, as you heard the president say right there. An excellent, wide-ranging conversation. Donald Trump also saying it was a good conversation, said he would seek the president's counsel in the future. And Jonathan Karl, I want to bring you in. You've covered both men for a long time, a lot of animosity. Even before this campaign, of course, Donald Trump questioned whether President Obama was even born in the United States. But that first meeting, apparently rather successful.
Yes, and there was a question that was answered, George, at the end.
I forgot to show the video where Obama wasn't.
Was
Got to
really
get AT&T out
going to
here
seek the
again.
president's counsel, and that's when he responded at the very end saying he is a very good man. Those were words that
That's what Melania says. He is a very good man. A very good man. Now he's got Obama saying it. He's a very good man. Well, no, actually, Trump said that about Obama because he's used to hearing that from Melania. He's a good man. A very good naughty.
hadn't expected to hear from Donald Trump covering him all over these years. He talked about how he had respect for him, and he hoped to see him many, many more times in the future.
Yeah,
He
right.
even made a reference, George, you heard there, to some of the excellent things that have been accomplished. So this was apparently a quite cordial meeting. As Trump mentioned, it lasted for an hour and a half. And I can tell you that while I was waiting to go inside the Oval Office, they had the pool waiting right next to the colonnade. I noticed that Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law and close advisor, Ivanka Trump's husband, was walking around the South Lawn with Dennis McDonough, President Obama's chief of staff. They made that walk several times. That's a walk that the president often takes with his chief of staff when they discuss weighty matters. They even made that was even where they talked about the bombing campaign that was to happen against Syria. Of course, didn't happen largely because of what the two men discussed on that walk. So it was very interesting to see not only the meeting between the incoming president and the outgoing president, but also the outgoing chief of staff and one of the incoming president's most important advisors.
And John, interesting that he's going to seek President Obama's counsel, given the fact that so many of his promises on the campaign trail are to undo many of President Obama's accomplishments in his first 100 days in office.
Well, and also giving the unbridled animosity that we have seen between the two men. As you mentioned, Donald Trump questioned whether or not the president was even a citizen of the United States and therefore eligible to be president of the United States. And President Obama made no bones about the fact that he believed that Donald Trump was temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief. Now we see the two of them quite cordial words from each man. The president saying he is bound and determined to try to help Donald Trump be a successful president, a successful transition, because he thinks that will be success for the country as a whole. And this extraordinary statement from Donald Trump that he will be seeking counsel from a man he once said was not a legitimate president.
Cokie Roberts, cordial words, one of the rituals of democracy.
Yes, but you know, I think that Donald Trump has learned since the election that words really do matter. I mean, we had a dramatic instance of that where after the results were becoming clear, we saw the stock market futures drop by almost 1,000 points, 850 points or so. And then Donald Trump made that very conciliatory acceptance speech and stocks started to go up. And then the Hillary Clinton and the president made their very conciliatory speeches yesterday, and the market soared. And that is something that it's very hard for presidents to learn, is that their words really do affect peace and war. They affect markets, and Donald Trump is learning that very quickly and is responding to it in a way that I think can make people feel a lot more comfortable.
And for the most part, avoided questions, with the exception of Jonathan Karl at that press conference. Cokie Roberts, John Karl, thanks very much. There you have it, the first meeting between President